We have to have a full recap with a Wrap Party podcast with you about your trip to France. But I know there's a bunch of highlights that you want to talk about on the air this week, and we're here for it.
There's a lot of ground to cover, so I think maybe a podcast is the best way to do it all. But
I want to hit some highlights. Like, for instance, I asked you, like, day one when you landed, I texted you, and I said, hey, how was the trip? Everything good? And your response was no. It wasn't good.
Well, it wasn't.
There was chaos.
Yes, this wasn't a quote-unquote highlight, but it was something that was a little out of left field that doesn't typically happen. And one of my best friends who I went on this trip with had a medical emergency mid-flight on the way to France.
That's crazy.
Crazy. Okay.
Was it like, hey, we need a doctor?
Is there a doctor on the plane? No doctor. The flight attendants were calling the doctor on the ground. So
were you sitting next to her?
No. So I told you 2 of my girlfriends upgraded to first class, and then the other 2 of us sat in economy.
Right.
So it was one of the girls that was sitting in first. And our other friend came back and was like, hey, Stephanie is rashed out head to toe and they're calling the doctor.
She's rashing.
She's hived head to toe. Hives everywhere, except for her face. They're all over her chest, her arms, her back, her legs, and she is scratching like crazy. And she had no sign of this before she got on the plane. So the night before, she did have a little bit of hives.
Okay.
And her dad is a doctor, so she went to her dad and was like, hey, is it am I contagious? What is this? And he was like, no, it's just hives. Take a Benadryl, whatever. Well, they went away, so we thought she was fine.
Yeah.
And then when we got on the plane, I don't know, 3 hours into this flight, we're over the Atlantic. And I'm like, Stephanie, you cannot get this plane turned around because we're closer to the U.S. right now. So unless you are anaphylactic and your throat is closing up, you better take those
what a friend.
Benadryl and shut up.
I am not turning my ass back to France because God knows I will not get back on this plane and our trip will be canceled.
Yeah. So anyway,
did somebody have a Benadryl?
They had Benadryl on the flight, and so the doctor said to take 2 Benadryl. Nothing happened.
What doctor?
Whoever the flight attendants are calling on the ground.
Did the captain come back to check on her?
No. But the head flight attendant kept coming back and forth and back and forth. So then I sit with her for a little bit up there. And
so you do end up in first class.
I did end up in first class for the majority of the flight. But anyway, she took 2 Benadryl. It did nothing. They called the doctor again and they said, have her chew one. She chews it, still nothing.
Oh my God.
This chick took 4 Benadryls and an Ambien on this flight and still didn't go to sleep. She itched the whole time. And they had an EpiPen standing by that was sitting on her table.
What were the other passengers doing?
Nothing. Everyone was sleeping. Nobody really
was
even
noticed?
The wiser. Yeah.
Because maybe, somebody else could say, hey, I get rashes and here's what I do.
I mean,
but everybody was passed out.
Yeah.
How far into the flight were you? How long in?
We were about maybe 2 or 3 hours when it started. Mm-hmm. And had she not had it the night before, we all would have been more concerned. But we knew what it was.
Okay, so you guys make it.
We make it. The rash finally goes away after her 12 Benadryls kick in.
But is she passed out from taking 12 Benadryls?
So we land in Paris and have to switch planes and go all the way across the airport to get our flight from Paris to Marseille. And we're literally Weekend at Bernie's carrying her through the airport.
Dragging her like a dummy. Like a CPR dummy over your shoulder.
Yes. I'm put her on a suitcase. We'll just roll her.
Oh, my God. So does she remember anything after that? Landing and stuff?
She was really groggy, but she does for the most part remember.
Poor thing.
I know.
And then it went away? She never dealt with it again?
And then it never happened the rest of the time we were there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Someone says they were on a plane where there was a medical emergency and they were forced to land on their way to Hawaii. They ended up turning back after being on the plane for 3 hours. Had to go back to L.A.
That's why I was like, Stephanie, you have to wait until we at least get halfway and we're closer to France so that they land in France and not the U.S. again.
She might want her dad as a doctor, though, Lauren. But what about you guys? Does anybody else Does anybody else have a story to share about when you were on the airplane? Maybe it wasn't your emergency, but were you on an airplane and there was an emergency and you guys were forced to land? 980-780-9595. What was your emergency on the plane? Because, LauRen's right. I'm surprised the captain didn't come back. Being the son of a former captain of of TWA.
He may have, when it first happened, but the two that were sitting back in the regular part of the plane didn't know what was happening until I don't know what happened on the bookends.
And it's not to say that the flight attendant's not doing their job. It's just they're in charge of the entire plane from front to back, and they would just want to put eyes on it. But now when I think about it, my dad probably wouldn't have went back either because he wouldn't have known what to do. Splash a little water on her, he would have said something like that. LauRen, you on your trip to France had a friend who had some sort of allergic reaction mid-flight, and you threatened her to fix herself or else you were going to throw her out with a parachute.
My favorite saying is fix your face with my kids, and I was saying it to my friends too.
You were like, get better because we are not turning this plane around. We are going to France. But it turned out that after a couple Benadryl, the rash started going away.
And by a couple, I mean 4 Benadryl.
You said a couple.
Yeah.
She took 4 Benadryl, took 2, and then chewed 2.
Oh.
And
my girl was going through it.
Yeah, but she made it. Then she got off the plane, was completely passed out. They had to take her through the airport Weekend at Bernie's or a CPR dummy over her shoulder.
Yeah. Now, this is literally leaving the country, okay? So you can only imagine the shenanigans that followed after that.
But then she got better and the party continued. Hey, Lisa, good morning. We're wondering about the airplane drama that you went through. What happened?
Hi, yes. There was 3 of us that we left to Charlotte to head to LaGuardia, New York for New Year's. It was December 30th. So got on a plane. My friend and I, we were separated, so we were sitting in different parts of the plane. Mid-flight, I saw the stewardess carrying an oxygen tank up toward the front. I'm like, man, that looks like they're going toward where she's sitting. And they asked if I was with her, so I got up there. Well, they had ended up putting the shock pads on her. It said stand clear for shock. So I'm like, oh my God. So she was having some type of a heart arrhythmia and all that kind of thing.
Had she ever had that before, or was this the first you were hearing of that?
Well, she'd had palpitations and stuff like that, but she had not flown.
Oof.
So they ended up diverting the plane to New Jersey, and anyway, they had the ambulance guy came on and got her off on the stretcher. Then they let us go off with her. So here we are with our little suitcases in the back.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God.
And everybody's staring at you, right?
That's the worst.
But I'm like, you get the alerts on American Airlines or whatever where, the plane is being diverted for emergency. Man,
Were all the passengers kind of cool, or did you hear any mumblings?
Yeah, no, they were all cool.
Yeah, that's good.
Really quickly.
Yeah.
They continued on their journey, but unfortunately, after they admitted her to a hospital, and when they just found out it was probably just a heart arrhythmia, but she was on the no-fly list at that point, so we ended up having to take the train down into Grand Central
Get out of here.
to get there. But we made it. Her husband had to come up from Columbia, South Carolina by train to be able to get her a ride back with him on the train because she couldn't fly and he didn't want to drive all the way up there. And
Here's me thinking that only terrorists are on the no-fly or criminal.
That was my question. So if you have a medical emergency, you're on the no-fly list after that?
Well, she had to get a medical clearance from the doctor to say, hey, I'm okay. She's okay to fly because of whatever heart condition she has. So needless to say, I worked in Hawaii for a little bit, so I was like, you get a big old boat maybe to come on over to
Yeah.
Build a bridge. Thanks, Lisa. Kyle says a fight broke out on his flight.
Uh-oh.
Dang.
What airline was they on?
Spirits.
Okay.
Kyle, were you part of the fight?
Hello.
Hey, what's up? Give us the details.
All right. Well, the detail was we were on a flight back from Vegas. I slept through the whole problem. I have no problem sleeping, but my girl could not sleep. There was 2 guys behind us that were very drunk, way overserved, and the whole flight was mad at them. But my girl was the only person that said something to them. They called her the B word, said they were going to smack her in her face. I woke up from my sleep, that soft neck pillow, I just threw it at him. And the stewardess ends up calling the police. We have to sit on the plane for an hour and a half, 2 hours, so the cops come take me off the plane because the stewardess said I punched him in the face.
Oh, my gosh.
So now I'm talking to the cops outside the gate, and every person that came off, all the good Samaritans were like, it is not his fault.
Good.
He only threw a neck pillow at him, but the stewardess would not come off the plane and give his side of the story because the cop was like, this is the first time we have 3 stories. Usually we get 2.
Right.
We have 3 different stories.
Yeah, right. Are you on the no-fly list, Kyle?
No, they did not put me on the no-fly list because of the good Samaritans told them that I did not punch him.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that the stewardess, lost his job, but they didn't reimburse me for my flight, nothing. But
any other
give
time.
you one guess, it's not Spirit, but it was the other bad one.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Yeah, we don't need to go any farther. But any other time, everybody's got their cell phones out. Like that would have been easy to be like, look, here's the video evidence.
Yeah, everybody records.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Real quick, Vicky is on. Hey, Vicky, what happened to you on the plane? What was the drama?
The drama was I'm a retired paramedic. I was going over to Europe to visit some friends, and I boarded the plane from Montana, switched over in Chicago, and as soon as we started getting over the water, I started smelling vomit immediately, and one of the flight attendants came over and said, hey, are you medical? I'm like, yeah. So I got up. Some guy had eaten corn and peanuts, and he had a history of diverticulitis. And he proceeded to puke all over himself, his wife, the seat in front of him, the floor. And,
so you turn around?
Well, we were over the water by that time, so we were at the halfway point. So we carried him back to the galley, and I sat with him on the floor the entire rest of the flight to Amsterdam.
Aww.
And they took his clothes. They even had to take him to the bathroom to wash him out. I used to see.
Damn.
Yeah,
see, I want everybody to hear these stories so that when you have a little turbulence or the flight's delayed a little bit, it's not that big of a deal.
Worse.
It
Don't
could
eat
be
that
way
corn.
worse. Good for you, Vicky.
That corn don't digest.
And corn is messy when you throw it up, too. Oh.
Hey, it's Lauren from the Maney LauRen Morning Show. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and like this video. If you want to see more videos, you can always check out our behind the scenes content or our Where Are the Roses.